Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily if you're new here, and these are my two rescue dogs, Dinah, who's kind of sleeping right now, and Alice. So Alice, Haenim, Dinah, Yang. They're my two Korean rescue dogs, and they're so sweet and I love them. And this video is going to be, honestly, it's a tough topic. It is about dog esophageal cancer. And Alice received this diagnosis a couple months back. And since then, I've been really tempted to create a YouTube video because when she first got diagnosed, and even before she actually got a diagnosis and there was the discovery and the chance of it being esophageal cancer, I just started doing a ton of research. And then I was like, I wonder if anyone has done a video or if there is anyone out there who has experienced this, and just what did they do? Did they find anything that helped, anything that worked, and how are they just feeling? Just someone to relate to. And unfortunately, I couldn't find any YouTube videos that just were from a fellow pet owner about this. And I think just sometimes when you're going through a hard time, just to know someone else is going through that can help you so much. That is my reasoning for doing this video today. I'm going to be talking about our journey with Alice's esophageal cancer and just kind of onset, kind of little symptoms I noticed, what we've done, interventions, medical interventions, where we're at, and just to share this experience to perhaps hopefully another pet parent going through this and just needs a virtual hug and just to know that you're not alone. Now, the reason why I think it's hard with this is that it's very rare. I believe it's less than 0.5% of dogs that get diagnosed with esophageal cancer, whether that's malignant or non-malignant, like benign. It's rare, and that can make it really, really hard. That is what today's video topic is about. And yeah, I'm going to be sharing all this just from my heart, just as a friend talking to you. I am not a medical expert. I am not a veterinarian. So please 100% talk with your veterinarian. Talk to your medical experts, your specialists, all of that about all the information and things. Some of the stuff I mentioned, definitely chat if you want to your medical experts about this, but I am not a medical expert. Just want to give that disclaimer to this, and you probably will tell very quickly. So without further ado, make sure, I do this in all my videos if you're new here, to grab a delicious cup of tea or your choice of beverage. I am enjoying some Japanese sencha green tea from David's Tea, just a nice delicious green tea to enjoy with all of you. And let's get started with today's video. Virtual cheers. Normally when I prepare a video, I have a list of things like, this is what I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to talk about. I don't have that planned for this video. It's really going to be just kind of talking as I would to a friend about this experience. But I am going to try my best to kind of do it in like, what were symptoms in hindsight that could have meant that Alice had this? What is going on with Alice, medical interventions, that kind of, hopefully the layout of this video, but we'll see where we go. I am going to add chapters, so definitely check those out if there's specific things you're interested in. So to start off with, I'll give you a quick backstory on Alice. As mentioned, she's a rescue dog. She was adopted through Free Korean Dogs. They saved her. She was rescued from a high-kill shelter in Korea. They saved her from being euthanized, and I had the great honor and privilege of adopting her in December 12th, actually, 2020. So December 12th, 2020. She was estimated to be 4.5 years old.
It's okay. Yes, good girl. Yes, that's a good girl with the guinea. Yes, that's very good calm behavior. Yes. Yeah, that's a very good girl. Yeah.
Now, she did kind of early on, I noticed there were some digestive issues and things, and she ended up getting diagnosed with mild IBD, extremely well managed on diet. And other than that, like, we have had the most fun, amazing life together. I truly feel blessed to have her. I wouldn't be where I am today. She is just insanely the biggest blessing and just a reminder of just the love in the world. And she's just incredible. She's my little miracle, aren't you? And I know, like, I think the beautiful thing is, as much as she blessed me, I know that together we've worked together and we've overcome so many things together. That's a quick little history of Alice. She is super healthy, super active otherwise, and just the sweetest. So now I'm going to talk about some of the things leading up to what led to her basically the discovery of this thing inside of her. This unknown mass is kind of what happened. So back last summer in summer 2024, I had noticed Alice had started to leave a little bit of her food behind. And I was like, that's a little strange. I had mentioned it to vet, they weren't concerned. And this was also around the time when Dinah was being a picky eater. Dinah was on a different diet from Alice's. Alice has IBD, mild IBD, extremely well managed on her diet, but very strict. And Dinah just always wanted her food. So I kind of started to associate, because Dinah would eat it after and Alice didn't mind, that maybe Alice was leaving some of that food for Dinah to eat. And this is only in hindsight that I look and go, oh, I wonder if that was a really early sign. It 100% likely was. I did mention it to my vet in the fall. They weren't concerned. She had no other symptoms. The only other thing I had noticed is on walks, she seemed to be going at a slower pace. She's always been more of a slower walker. She loves to get her sniffs in. And she definitely, if she gets excited, she'll start moving. But I did notice that her walks were just a little bit slower, but active, moving, and it was just only like just a little bit slower, just a tiny bit, not very much. So nothing concerning. She's estimated to be right now currently around 9.5 years old. She could be a little younger, she could be a little older, we don't really know. And so as the fall went by, she just was happy, healthy. But I had this, like, I don't know how to explain it, but just this, like, this feeling that something was wrong. And I kept bringing her into the vet. She had like a tiny little, like, I think it's just like a little, like, I don't know what you call it, like a little cyst thing, like tiny, very tiny on her neck. It was benign, nothing wrong. But I kept thinking, like, I feel like there's something wrong. But every time we went to the vet, we did tests, everything looked really good. In April is when the first big thing happened. And I thought Alice had this strange IBD reaction. She was like, woke up, she threw up, and which is more IBD, but then she started shaking while she was eating and after eating. And I was like, that is a really unusual symptom. So I immediately like called the vet, booked her in, and I went in kind of being like, just if you guys don't know a whole lot, I did have a very traumatic experience with my first dog. She had a very rare condition, which she unfortunately passed away from, under 1.5 years old. So I always feel like I'm always worried, worst case scenario, but I'd rather be safe, and stuff. So I went in going like, this might be her IBD, but I don't, like, she didn't eat anything. She hasn't had a flare up in years and years. Like, I don't really know what this is. So they did a blood work. They did, they kind of looked around, they felt around, everything looked good. Blood work was clear. And she's like, and I even said, like, I'm scared, like, does she have cancer? And she's like, this is what we would see typically if this was cancer. Like, I think this is just IBD, but, come back, if things don't improve. Alice continued to shake while eating and after eating. So I booked her back in for another appointment end of April. And I asked for an ultrasound. Now, that first appointment wasn't with the veterinarian we usually see, so I got to see my actual veterinarian, and she could tell I was very concerned. And she said the shaking was interesting, that it was during and immediately after eating, because she said that would actually be more of the upper GI system. So she said, let's book her in for an ultrasound. And you know what, we can see, like, we can ask them, maybe she can eat something, and we can maybe record that on the ultrasound. So we'll do one with her, being fasted, and one after with the food going. And I was like, great, let's do that. Thank you so much for checking. When Alice had that ultrasound, the results came back, and my vet called me the next day, and it was the most devastating news that I found. That hurt. It was really hard. She said that she was expecting this ultrasound to come back clear, that this was a complete shock to her because Alice is just so healthy and fit and has no other symptoms. And she had a 4-centimeter mass inside her diaphragm, and they felt that it may likely be attached to her esophagus, but because of the size, it was so hard to know because it was pressing up against a lot of different things. like different, you know, organs, the lung, and all these things. I will also, just so you guys know, I will leave like information, like better medical terms, things on the screen as I'm chatting, or also if I forget to say something. So just so you know, in case you're listening to this, I might include some text and things on here as well. That was really hard. And she knew the type of dog parent I am, like right away. She was like, let's do an x-ray. We're going to refer her straight to specialists. Obviously, this is like outside of their scope of you know, knowledge of what they do. We did that. We did the x-ray. The x-ray really didn't give much more information. And then May was a hard month because the research hospital she was first referred to ended up being, I think it was about a 4-month waiting list. And I was like, we don't have 4 months. So then my vet was incredible. They put referrals in everywhere for me to see where it could take Alice, like much quicker. So end of May, I got a call back and she was brought in for internal medicine. We met with an amazing specialist there. She did a full CT scan, and still because of the size, we could not see or fully know for sure what this mass was attached to, but the CT scan did confirm that was a tumor and cancerous in nature. And that CT scan stated they felt it was a malignant type of cancer. And it was unknown if it was on the esophagus, but it is pressing up against some vital things, which was really alarming and scary. So the plan was that specialist then spoke to the head surgeon of their hospital, because the best protocol and treatment would be to try to go in and remove it, or to go in to biopsy, and also just to go in to know what it is attached to. So because on the CT scan, there was really little knowledge to know exactly what it is attached to even make a surgical plan. So literally, like so quickly, I got to speak to the head surgeon, which honestly, she is a gift from God. She's been incredible for Alice and me and little Dinah. And I just feel so blessed. I prayed so much. Actually, even going to that hospital, I remember praying, like, please just give me some signs that this is the right place. And I kept seeing, like, I'll put like little Instagram things, like, so you guys can kind of see these references. But I just felt so at peace at this place, and so that we were meant to be here and this was the right place. So, and it really was. So anyway, I spoke to the surgeon, and she'd given me 2 surgical options. One was significantly less risk. It was kind of more laparoscopic, where you'd go in just to take a sample, but it would not tell us what this tumor was attached to. And we really wouldn't help us in a way of like, we could biopsy it, but we still really wouldn't know what it is attached to make a really good surgical plan. And if it is malignant, we only have a very short window to prevent it from spreading if it hasn't attached to anything yet. So I had to make honestly, I think it is the hardest decision I've ever had to make, or at least one of the hardest decisions, to schedule Alice for the second surgical option, which was significantly high risk. And it was the scariest day. It was scheduled early June. And basically, there was a significantly high chance Alice would not survive the surgery, even if they ultimately didn't even remove the tumor. It was a very significantly, they had to open up her diaphragm and go in. And I just want to just quickly say a huge thank you to everyone in this community, on my Instagram at Fashion Storyteller, my dog account at Pocketella, my family, my loved ones, all the people around me, all of you around the world that prayed for Alice, and positive vibes to her and well wishes, because I truly believe that helped Alice, survive that surgery, and just also the skill of this incredible surgeon. So ultimately, she did go in, she was able to get the biopsy, and she tried to remove the tumor off the esophagus. It was attached to the esophagus, but she deemed that there was a very strong likelihood Alice would not survive if she removed it, because it started to bleed and it was difficult to remove off the esophagus, where sometimes it really is just good, you can just excise it off. And this was a lot more difficult, and it was bleeding. It also required, if she were to do it, 3 to 4 centimeters of esophageal reconstruction. And she would also have to kind of attach the esophagus back onto the stomach. And there'd be, again, not medical here, but a chance or high chance that even if Alice survives that surgery, her body might not heal well from this, or her quality of life might be significantly reduced with this. So she chose not to do the surgery. Better to wait to have the biopsy results to confirm what it is. She did tell me after that surgery, she felt that it was benign since it was so large, it was pressing up against these things, but it hadn't gone through the esophagus. So her esophagus, they did a scope through it, fully clear. This tumor was, we were going to go down. It was just on the outside of the esophagus. So we waited, the biopsy came back, and they diagnosed it as esophageal leiomyoma. And I was so relieved to hear that because it meant it was non-malignant. It was a benign, tumor. So still cancer because it can continue to grow, but it is slow growing. And I felt really relieved. The surgeon did tell me, though, that if it was her dog, she does not recommend to do the surgery again, just because Alice's quality of life is so good despite her. Some dogs probably with this would not be presenting the way she is presenting, but she's just so happy. She's full of life. She lives in the moment. She's healthy. She wants to go on her walks. She wants to do her things. So she told me that, yeah, if it was her dog, she wouldn't do the surgery and just let Alice enjoy her beautiful life, and that maybe we can look into radiation, chemo, or other options to help shrink the tumor. She also, though, during the surgery, added in a G tube. So a G tube, it goes basically into the stomach. It's on her side. And I can feed her through the tube to help support her eating. She still does eat on her own, just small amounts. So the feeding tube allows me to give her that extra food that she needs to make sure she's getting all her calories and nutrition for the day. And that has been life-changing for Alice. Leading up to surgery, I forgot to mention that the eating really, really reduced. She was really struggling to get all her nutrients in. It was so painful, and it was so painful to watch. And her only symptom was just the shaking, but you knew that she was just in so much pain. And since having this feeding tube, when I'm filming this, it's the middle of October basically, and she's had it in since the beginning of June, and she is so good with it. She seems to know it helps her, and she's just amazing with it. And it's just been wonderful. She still wants to eat, though. She'll eat a little tiny bit of breakfast and a little bit of dinner. Sometimes she won't want to eat breakfast. Sometimes she won't want to eat dinner. But she will eat treats. She loves her treats, so she'll still eat those. And she doesn't shake. If it's just small amount, she's okay. And then the rest I just give her through the feeding tube.
Hey everyone, this is Emily in the future. I'm just editing this video right now. And I realized I didn't really talk much about Alice's recovery from the surgery until much later in the video. So I just wanted to give you an update here and now that the surgery was very hard on Alice. She needed oxygen, she needed a blood transfusion and oxygen for quite a few days, and longer than they thought. They thought she would be off of oxygen within the same day as the surgery. So she needed to be on that for quite a few days and get her breathing to be kind of breathing independently on her own. And so it was a really scary surgery. It was very hard on her, but she did recover well. I just want to say again, a huge thank you to that incredible hospital that took care of her. They even dressed up her drama llama, and that was something very special about the surgeon even allowing drama llama. This is Alice's very special toy in the actual surgery room, and just having they decorate him with the same catheter, and it was just so sweet. So she did recover really well, but it was scary the first couple days, and that was the longest I had ever been separated from Alice. I think it was 4 nights, maybe 5. I can't quite remember. It was a couple months ago now, back in June. But it was just amazing when I did get the call to go pick her up. So I am going to include, I did do a YouTube short of this video, but I figured I'd show it here in case you'd like to see just Dinah and I when we go and we pick up Alice. We hadn't seen Alice until this day. We dropped her off at surgery, and then we didn't want to go back just to visit because it can be hard on the dog. They can get depressed, especially if they're still kind of in a critical state. So I wanted to wait to see her and pick when the day I was going to get to pick her up, which was so hard, but I knew it was the best for Alice to recover well. So I'm going to include that little video here. I think it's like a minute or two long. Feel free to skip it in the chapters though, like if you've already seen it or it's not something you want to see. It's a little bit of an emotional little vlog video of Dinah and I getting to be reunited back with Alice and bring her home, which was technically bringing her to a hotel first and then heading home.
Gonna see Alice. Alice gonna come. We're gonna see Alice today. Gonna see Alice. We're gonna see Alice today. Are you gonna play ducky with her? Emma, we're gonna go pick up your sister. Are you ready to see Alice? We're gonna go see Alice. Yeah, you ready? Okay. Inside. She's gonna come.
For Alice?
Yeah. She's coming. She's coming, Dinah.
Hello?
Hi, Alice. This is your friend?
Yeah.
Alice.
Oh my goodness.
Alice. Oh,
Shake.
nice. Oh, you are so mighty. You are so good. Oh, Alice. Hi. Did you say thank you to everybody? You've been through so much. We're all here for you. You are so mighty, brave, and strong. Yes. Oh, wow. Look, we got Mr. Sloth. And the Drama Llama and Melissa take very good care of you. They took such great care of you. Yeah. Hi, love. Hi. I love you. You are amazing. You are a little miracle. Hi. She's shy. You're gonna come. I know you think you're gonna stay here longer, but you're gonna come. You're such a good girl.
I can't find them.
It's okay. Oh, you're such a good girl. You did it. Yeah. You want to go carry her?
Oh.
Yeah. Here. Yeah, I got your snuggle set. Here you go. You're gonna come. You're gonna come home. Yeah, we zip you up. You ready to go? You gonna say goodbye to your friend? I guess we need Drama Mom. Thank you so much. And please thank everyone else that helped. Like it just,
Yes.
she means the world. Thank you so much, everybody. She's coming home. Your sister's coming home. She's coming home. You coming home?
In July, I had Alice see an integrative holistic vet. Even for myself, I have my own health stuff. I am a really big fan of holistic options, natural ways that we can help support our bodies. And I really wanted Alice to see an integrative holistic vet. Integrative means they practice medical, like medicine, and they practice like a holistic approach. So we found an amazing integrative holistic vet. And Alice has been on a ton of supplements since I think it was like middle of July, and she's been tolerating them really well. I was a little bit worried about her IBD. I'm actually so thankful though that Alice has the feeding tube because she doesn't have to like taste all the supplements and all that. If you're interested, I'll just kind of leave images on the screen of what Alice is taking, but she's taking a lot of Chinese like herbal medication, supplements, and she's taking a bunch of other cancer fighting medication. I will also, in the description, if it's helpful, I'll list all the supplements Alice is on down below. I really do think they're also helping her out. I mean, I don't know in terms of shrinking the tumor or not, that's what I'm praying for, but just in terms of maybe helping it not spread as fast, there is a lot of good research showing that these can be quite effective. Even the research hospital, the oncologist surgeon there, he said, no, there's like a lot of validity in this research and the findings for some of these supplements and these treatments. So it's definitely worth a shot. And, you know, I'm going to try everything for this little pup. Now, finally, Alice in August got to see the research hospital. And my goal going there was to look into options to shrink it. I had looked into a lot of more newer research, like it's a lot of stuff that they're not actually even practicing in Canada. It's more in the States, very new interventions. My surgeon, Alice's surgeon, I should say, had already done a lot of research on the radiation, not feeling it would be helpful just because the heart, the lung, radiation, the esophagus, it's very like flabby, it moves around, so it just might not work, but still get their opinion on it. And if there is potentially, like, there's the anti-tumor vaccine, there's injectables, which are a very new intervention. There's a lot of mixed opinions on that. Unfortunately, though, there was just at this hospital, they don't do anti-cancer vaccines. It's very controversial, and they don't do injectable type treatment. Again, I think it's still very newer and controversial and not really done in canines. Because of that, I felt very defeated. They did do an updated CT scan, though, and the CT scan revealed that the tumor is highly vascular. And despite it being diagnosed with the biopsy, actually from this research hospital, the oncology surgical team there, they said that it is highly likely to be malignant because it has a huge blood supply and source. And that was really defeating. I still right now, I'm just praying every day that it is non-malignant and is just presenting that way. I think sometimes you just have to live in the moment and stay faithful and just trust the process. And for me right now, I'm just continuing to tell myself it is non-malignant. It appears the CT scan. I still haven't received the exact measurements from the CT done in, when was it, April, May? I forget, yeah, end of May. And then that was done in August. But it sounds like it's about the same size. They were worried it starts with an H. I'm going to leave it on top of the screen. They were worried it was that type of cancer. However, you know, Alice is still going strong and she's doing incredible. So it might be a leiomyosarcoma. I believe that's how you present it, which is like a leiomyoma. It's just the malignant version of it. So that was really hard. And then they did want to suggest the surgery. Again, the significantly higher surgery. They did talk to my original surgeon about it, but if I'm being brutally honest, if I were going to do the surgery again, I would do it with the original surgeon. I trust her so much. And even when the research team talked to her, they got way more hesitant as well about doing the procedure, just because the likelihood of Alice surviving it is so slim, and her quality of life right now is so good. Like, she's so happy, she's playing, she's playful. We went on some amazing camping trips. You might have seen on my YouTube, I've done some shorts of those camping adventures, and she's just enjoying life for the fullest. And for about the first 4.5 years of her life, it was horrific, it was scary, it was hard. She's likely was from a puppy mill and then ended up at a high kill shelter. She's definitely had many puppies, been through so much. And so it's like, do we do the surgery and hope that the very slim chance that she survives this and that her quality of life improves and doesn't decrease so that she can continue to live life? Or do we just let her enjoy her life right now, where she is just presenting so well? Everyone is shocked when they see the tumor and then they meet Alice and see Alice, how healthy, how happy, how full of love and light and just wanting to be around people. Like, so they literally told me, like, it's not a black and white situation here, where sometimes, you know, the dog is just not, the quality of life is not good, and we can just say surgery is the best, and if they don't make it through, you know, you did your best. And for me, when I did the surgery the first time around, my reasoning for doing it was, I love Alice, and sorry, I might cry in this video. She was going to be euthanized at that high kill shelter. People didn't love her. They didn't want her. And if she passes away in surgery, it would be from people fighting for her life. And to save her, which was why I ultimately did that surgery, because at that point we didn't have any answers, and now the best thing I can do for her is to fight for her and to have the medical teams to fight in this research hospital, and our surgeon specialists, they fought for Alice and they fought for her life. So ultimately with the surgery, I chose not to do a second surgery just because of all these risks and just the quality of her life. It's a very hard decision to make because you just wish there was an easier way, and that's partly why I'm making this video, because it is so challenging when there's no chemo available, there's no radiation recommended, it's just surgery. And a lot of these esophageal tumors get diagnosed much later. So my feeling is, at this point, in terms of surgery, if her quality of life starts to decrease, I may open the door and rethink surgery. But right now I'm keeping up with the whole integrative holistic vet, keeping up with prayer, and just celebrating little Alice, making sure she's having the best life, having so much fun, and just cherishing every second, every moment. It's hard because you just always hope that there's more time, but I think from the loss of my first sweet dog is with Alice and with Dinah, I've just cherished every moment with them, every moment I can spend with them. I am such a dog mom, and I think if you follow me, you probably know that they're really like my children. And I think it was also one of my good friends, Natalie, I don't know if she's watching this video, but hello. She told me, just go also by, how Alice feels, like what is Alice telling you? And I also, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my faith here. And I really prayed about, should I do a second surgery or not? And I had a very abundantly clear, like a couple abundantly clear signs not to go ahead with a second surgery. At least not yet. So that's kind of fast forward to where we are now in October. I was able to talk to my other surgeon, and she is going to be looking at the CT scan. And I also should back up a little bit. So Alice had her first appointment in August, but the second appointment where she had the CT scan, that was done, I think it was the middle or end of September, just for reference, because I realized that might be a little bit confusing. So yeah, so it's kind of where we're at. We're in October. I am waiting to hear back from our surgeon. She's going to compare the sizes of the tumor from the CT scans just to see where it's at, if it's gotten any bigger, maybe miraculously it's gotten a little bit smaller. That is what I'm praying for, that it will significantly shrink. That would be amazing, that it is non-malignant. That is what I've been praying for every day. I actually have, like, whenever I'm doing the feeding tube with Alice, that's my prayer time where I just pray for her and love on her. And we enjoy every moment together. I think when you get these really challenging diagnoses, it can be hard sometimes to see the miracles in the situations, but I'm always reminded every time, I wake up next to her, every time she's in my lap, she's still here. And that is a miracle. Like, she might have not survived that surgery. I didn't really talk too much about that surgery, but she did have a harder time recovering from that surgery. She needed to be on oxygen for a while. She needed a blood transfusion. She wasn't recovering as quickly as they hoped, but she recovered. And that is a miracle. And she's so healthy and happy now, which is also why the thought of doing that surgery again on her, it's just, that's so much to put her, a little sweetheart, through. She's about 6.5, 7 pounds. It's a 4-centimeter tumor, and that's a huge, scary surgery. So that's where I'm at on that. It's no easy decision. I know there might be people that think, nope, you should just go ahead and do it. But knowing Alice's history and where she came from, and knowing the life she has now and how much she's just enjoying life, I just want her to enjoy life, and I think that's what she wants. And if I can, I still am trying to look into injectable type treatments. I'm looking maybe into anti-tumor vaccines if it works. This is all offered in the States though. If you're a medical expert and you're watching this video, bless you, by the way, because I am not medical in how I'm describing any of this. If you know of any treatments or any ideas or anywhere I can go, please let me know. That is also one thing I really wanted to quickly touch on, is pet insurance. And I just want to give a massive shout out. This is not sponsored, by the way, to Trupanion Pet Insurance. I am a full-time student. I am so thankful for Trupanion because all of Alice's medical bills for this is 90% covered through Trupanion. And I am so thankful because I've never once had to be like, can I do this? Can I make this work financially? Because I have Trupanion. And sometimes some people are wondering, like, for rescues, is it worth it? Like, for instance, Alice's IBD is not covered by Trupanion. But I don't know if you guys saw a video where Alice had surgery on both her back legs. That was 90% covered. And this, for the rest of her life, is 90% covered from Trupanion Pet Insurance. So I am internally grateful for Trupanion. And whenever people ask me, like, should I get pet insurance? I think it is a really personal decision. But in cases like this, where at least in Canada and in the US, it can be very expensive. Like, I don't know if I should share like numbers on surgery, but let's just say like Alice's surgery was thousands of dollars. So just to share that, it can be really helpful to have pet insurance to help. And all of Alice's, like the Integrative Holistic Vet, like all her supplements, they're all 90% covered too. It's just, honestly, it's been incredible that Alice can get all the medical support that she needs, all the best medical help. And I truly feel blessed. Thank you, God, for just having the best medical team, the best community supporting Alice, supporting me through this, the best supplements, the best everything. And her rescue, I didn't even talk Free Korean Dogs, the community, actually the founder of Free Korean Dogs, like, everyone has just been so amazing and so supportive and just so helpful with me even making these really tough decisions. A lot of you may know the SNUGGIT SAC. Alice is an ambassador for them. The owner, she has been incredible there to chat to me, and all of my fellow friends who are like dog moms, pet lovers, pet parents. They've just been incredible. And I think if someone were to ask, like, why do you think Alice is so healthy and happy despite having this giant cancerous tumor inside of her, I would say it's because of all those reasons. We are blessed to have an amazing medical team, amazing pet insurance, amazing community of friends, loved ones, family, people, this community, like people all over the Free Korean Dogs community, and just we're blessed to have each other. And the love I have for her, the love she has for me, the love from little Dinah and all her other loved ones, and God just taking care of us and helping us get through this. I'm just going to keep loving her and keep enjoying every moment with her. And one thing I haven't really talked, Dinah, do you want to come up here? Is this little one. She's been incredible. Absolutely incredible to Alice, playing with her, having fun with her. And Alice, she's helped. I've had Dinah, it'll be 2 years in November 20th. It'll be 5 years for me with Alice, December 12th. And she's just added so much love and light. She's helped me, like when I was away from Alice during the surgeries and, you know, Alice was recovering, this little one was there for me. And when Alice came back, she was just there. She was greeting Alice. She was so happy to see little Alice Haenim. Anyway, I'm near the end of this video where hopefully I remembered to say everything I wanted to share, talk a little bit about my experience, and kind of going back to the element of faith. I think that is the thing that has helped me so much. It's just my relationship with God, my trust in God, just constantly saying, there's different verses that I say every day. There's prayers I say every day, and they strengthen me. They remind me just to believe in miracles and to be reminded that it's a miracle she's in my lap right now. They were saying that if it was the type of cancer, that she might already have passed away at this point. So it is a miracle that she's here. There are 2 verses that I tell Alice and Dinah every morning, and specifically every morning since Alice's diagnosis, and that is, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And then the other one is, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad," because it is a miracle. I think she wants to go explore. Do you want to go explore? It is a miracle that she's here, sitting in my lap, happy, healthy, despite this very critical condition. And I'm just so overjoyed that she's here and that she's healthy, because it's incredible, right? And every moment with her is a little moment to cherish. And what is also special about those 2 verses, that one verse when Ella passed away, which was This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. I had to say that because it was a shock when she had passed away. And then, amazingly, Alice was brought into my life. And I truly feel like my little late dog, Ella. I have a video on that too if you want to know more about that. But I wasn't ready to get a dog, and yet I discovered Alice. And my heart just said, "This, you're meant to rescue this dog." And it just amazingly all worked out. But I remember saying that, and I'm like, how can this be a good day? How is it going to get better? Like, how did this sweet little dog, why did she have to pass away? And the little Alice was brought into my life. So it's a very special verse for me. Again, hopefully you don't mind me sharing a little bit about that, but I would be lying if I didn't share how helpful my faith has been in this process, and how much it has helped me and Alice and Dinah through it. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that. If you would like to learn a little bit more about any prayers that I say or verses that I find really helpful, feel free to send me a DM on either of my Instagrams. They'll be linked down below. I'm happy to share that. And if your dog is struggling with esophageal cancer, just know I'm praying for them. I'm keeping them in my thoughts and prayers. I'm keeping you in my thoughts and prayers, and any other sweet pups or cats or animals that are struggling with cancer, or humans who are also struggling with cancer. Esophageal cancer is also rare in humans, so I've just been sending all the prayers. And I think it's one of those things where the C word, the cancer word, is so scary. You feel in moments as like a loved one, just the person that's struggling with this horrible critical condition, helpless at times. But one thing that I've discovered is well, actually, I am not helpless in this. I am doing so many things that I can for Alice, and it is helping her because she's happy and she's healthy otherwise, considering all the stuff going on. I don't know how much time I have left with sweet Alice Haenim, but I know that she's gonna live life to the fullest, and her quality of life is my top priority. That is the most important thing for me, is that her quality of life is absolutely incredible. I do not want her to have to suffer or go through anything difficult. And when that time comes, we'll make a decision together on what we're going to do, right? But I know she wants to be here right now. I know she's a little fighter. I know she's doing amazing with her feeding tube, and she inspires me. She inspires me to make the most of every day, enjoy every day, and just appreciate the time that we have, because they don't live for very long in the grand scheme of how long we live, but they bring such fullness and such joy that honestly, memories just to last a lifetime. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this sweet little pup, and I'm so eternally thankful and so blessed to have you in my life. You are an inspiration and a little miracle. You are incredible. So anyway, that's kind of near the end of this video. I'm not sure if I touched on all the things I wanted to chat about. If I've missed anything, I will leave it in the description bar. And I also just want to say just one last time, if your sweet animal has this, is going through this, I'm sending all my love, healing thoughts, and prayers over to you and to your sweet pet, your sweet animal. And I pray they are healed, and I pray that there is more medical interventions to treat esophageal cancer, both in humans and in our sweet animal friends, right? That is what we're hoping for. And just, oh gosh, a cure for cancer. Because at the end of the day, it's so tough, eh? But there's so much beauty in midst the storm. And that's one thing I've just always, I'm very determined, is to always look for the light in the dark. Because there's always light, there's always hope. There's always a beautiful thing, and like I said, like, she's on my lap right now. She's here, and that is a miracle in of itself. I don't know how much time we have, but oh man, I feel so blessed, and just cherishing every moment I have with this sweet little pup. Love you. Anyway, now I'm gonna go cry. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video, just hearing me chat. Again, I'm just speaking from my heart. That was just the goal of this video. I would love to probably have made a better sounding video where it kind of, I create a rough script, a rough idea of what I'm saying, but I just felt I probably wouldn't ever get down to filming this video unless I just speak from my heart. And I also just really wanted Alice to be here to kind of show you that we can go through hard things. We can make the most out of every day. So right then, Dinah's hiding here. But anyway, you guys, I'm wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day. If you're going through this, we're gonna get through this. It's gonna be okay. I'm sending you the biggest virtual hug to you and your sweet animal, your sweet pet, or your loved one. And yeah, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through it. And I will see you all in my next video. Goodbye for now and take care.